Adventures calling, treasure awaits. Join us on a journey, let's open the gates. Welcome to the pod where the treasure is found. X marks the pod, let's gather around.
Hey, this is Bruce on the ground. Welcome to X Marks the Pod, the treasure hunting podcast for treasure hunters by treasure hunters. And I'm joined today by my co-hosts Megan and Jaws. Say hello, kids.
Howdy.
Hey, everyone.
How was your Thanksgiving, guys? I know we're taking a little bit of a break here. Did you have a lot of turkey and guests, and are you glad it's all over?
My body's ready for it to be over. We ate way too much food.
Jaws, how was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was great. Ate a lot of food. The days after Thanksgiving, if you've ever watched the Christmas movies with all the National Lampoons with all the lights and crazy decorations, that's my house. So my body currently feels worse than after a boots on the ground after putting up like 30 inflatables and lights everywhere and all that stuff.
Oh, wow. So you're that guy, huh? So you're the day after Thanksgiving, you got everything out and all the tree stuff and all the inflate. Wow. Okay. Why haven't we seen pictures of this? Like, why haven't you posted? So I'm expecting when we're done here that you're going to post something on Discord saying happy or Merry Christmas, everybody, from Jaws and his 30 inflatable Rudolph the reindeers or whatever you got going on out there. So
yeah, I'll post a short to the YouTube and the Instagram and everything for everybody, and so y'all can expect a Merry Christmas from me on there.
very good, very good. I do absolutely nothing for that. That's like, I don't know, but yeah, I love the fact that you're out there, you're doing all that stuff, and that's money you could have spent on treasure hunting. Those inflatables, or maybe you could sell them on eBay, raise some money, send Jaws boots on the ground. That's what we want to do, right? So you have a pot there. So Megan, are you the same way? Do you get all your stuff out on the day after Thanksgiving and start decorating, or what's your plan?
So my family is as enthusiastic about helping put up Christmas as they are about treasure hunting. And so this year I ordered all new Christmas just so that it was just delivered directly to my living room and put up very simply rather than having to dig it out at the garage. I usually have the big, huge, vomited vintage Christmas. It's an over 10-foot tree. It takes up the whole space. But not this year. We went minimal, but we're traveling back home for Christmas this year. So there won't be much happening inside the house.
Got it. I'm interested that you use the word vomited to describe your tree. So just an explosion of all kinds of different ornaments and stuff.
It's everything. It's everything.
Very good. Very good. And okay, so then you're heading home. Where I thought you were from Arkansas. Are you where you go? No.
Home is Illinois. Illinois. So we rotate Thanksgiving and Christmas with our daughter who lives back there and my parents. And so we'll wake up Christmas morning in Illinois. They are already covered in like 8 to 10 inches of snow there. So they do Christmas much better than Arkansas.
Oh, wow. Okay. So then you're going to wake up and you're going to drive right to Indiana on Christmas morning after you yeah?
Yeah, probably so.
I know you've been threatening that. So I'm curious if that actually happens. So.
I hope Muskie guy, he better be watching. He better get me a room ready. That's so funny. He popped right up as soon as I said that in a Discord chat. Hilarious.
He's always watching, Muskie guy. Shout out to Muskie guy. I think we've all chatted with him. So thanks appreciate him checking out the pod. A lot of activity. It's been 2 weeks since we've done an episode, and I know we've all been boots on the ground. And let's roll right into it. Josh, give us your update. What's going on with your treasure hunting?
So I went to my super secret location where I think the Pokemon box is. I went into the area in a different way than I had before, and so I actually had access to the side of the mountain where Megan had come up with a point that she thought was the X marks the spot for the Pokemon box. And I climbed up to the top of the mountain, and there was not a box there. And as I'm climbing up the mountain, it starts to pour rain on me, so that was fun. And then on my way back down, I slipped down the side of the mountain and had a nice fall. So my right knee is still a little bruised up and beat up right now. But continued searching with no luck, and the rain just finally got to me. It was a bad weekend to be up there, and just rained on me the whole weekend. So I just ended up calling it quits and coming home after that. I did have two funny stories happen while I was there. As I'm hiking up this trail, I look up this crevice in the side of the mountain where water runs down, and there's a guy up there just flipping over rocks and digging around and searching for something. And I just sat there and watched him for a few minutes from the trail, and then he came running down from that crevice with something that would have been about the size of what the box is, I believe. And I about had a heart attack trying, like, I was like, do I tackle this guy and see if he's got the box? What is this? So it looked like a rock to me. So unless the box isn't a fake rock, which he said it's not, I don't think it was the box, but I thought that was funny. And then I went a little further up trail to where I believe the box should be. And as I'm looking across the water that's, I believe, is in the picture, I see someone else searching on the other side of the water from me. And I'm like, is this for real? So I think my super secret spot is starting to get out, and people are starting to think about it more. And maybe it's not a super secret anymore. So I need to find my box soon, hopefully.
Wow, so super fun trip. We hiked up a mountain, almost injured ourselves pretty good, and then thought two people were running off with your box that you spent all this time. Okay, very good. So that's why we love treasure hunting, folks. That's the thrill of that. Well, very good. What's your prognosis on that? I mean, I'm assuming that we haven't heard anything on the website from John about the box being found. So do we feel like that's not it?
I feel like the guy found a rock that he liked and took it home with him.
But interesting that there are two other, you're pretty sure they were out there treasure hunting is what you're thinking, or?
I don't think that guy was. I think he was just looking at rocks and stuff, but the other guy 100% was looking for treasure. Like, he was looking under everything, flipping everything over. He was looking for something.
Got it. So has this changed your thoughts on your area at all, or what's now that you another trip? I mean, every trip we go, we always find things, we look at things, we reevaluate. Any new revelations?
So the rain ruined that trip for me. That was a wash. I don't think I learned anything new on that trip. However, since coming home, I think I had a rather large clue breakthrough this week, and I'm going back this weekend, and I'm hopefully going to find something.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, be excited to hear how that pans out. So, well, very good. Megan, you also took a trip this past week. Where did you? Well, I won't ask you to tell me where you went, but tell me as much as you can about your boots on the ground this time.
Yes. So I had all week off, and my daughter had all week off, and my husband, he builds bridges, and so he has a new bridge project coming up, and it's in South Arkansas, and I've never been south. So I lined up a bunch of stops along the way, all these places that may be possibilities or just things that I wanted to see while studying Arkansas that I've come up with. And then I decided that along that way, I would go by and pick up Jaws's box too. And so, when you're looking for something in the house and you can't find it, and then your wife just drops in and it's like, it's right here. I assume that's what was happening with Jaws. Like, we know it's right there. Just go get it. And so I had been for months, walking through the paths where he has decided it's at, and virtually looking at pictures and stuff. And so I get there, and my family and I are fully shoed this time. We're ready to go. And so we start hiking. It's a super easy hike, super short hike. It was nothing like BNR, nothing. It's very spread out. It's open. It's not thick. And so I thought for sure, yeah.
This is where I have to interrupt and say, hey, Bruce, it's a family-friendly place.
It's a family-friendly place.
Okay, now you both owe me $50 because I've trademarked family-friendly treasure box. So Yeah, no, that's, I'm glad to hear it's family friendly. I think that fits our theme for the Pokemon box. So
Yeah. So I mean, and it was much smaller in real life than it was, virtually hiking around. And so when I got there, like I thought for sure we're gonna find this. And then we didn't. And so I like left that day thinking, okay, this is a perfect solve. Dolls has been there a million times. Like I went there and confirmed it's not there. And so like I was just majorly disappointed and like I was like, I don't even know if I even want to ever like search again. Like this is getting really annoying. Like I think it's impossible. Like we just can't do this. And so we just continue on with our family vacation, go back to the hotel, we're playing around and stuff. And then next morning get up and um it's raining and it's cold. And so Jada and I like run from the family because we've got quite a bit of a walk, and we go into a coffee shop and it's not even a coffee shop that we usually support. So we go inside anyway because rain. And I walk in and I look up, and right above my head are vintage hard case luggage. And hiding behind a pole, looking at the luggage, is froakie. It's a stuffed animal, a frog. And I was like, okay, John, I see you. I see this wink. Like, I guess I'll keep playing. You got me. Here's a clue. And I'm not even looking for clues. And I'm not even in a place where I think there should be treasure. And so then we get to a campground and we go into a visitor center. Still traveling south for my husband's job. Not even an area that I have even, put a lot of thought into, but it's possible. And so we get into the visitor center and there is a huge stuffed bald eagle. And I'm like, well, this is my first time as well seeing an American eagle. And we turn a corner and on the wall, there's a raccoon mounted up onto, a log. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have to completely reevaluate this entire story, this entire treasure hunt because I just limited myself. There's so much more. And so I have to go back to the story. I have to rework it. I have to figure out, what what was the intent? Where did I get blindsided? Did I fall into a group thing? I need a whole new approach. And so I had started working on the LS line share part, and I was like, I'm going to follow the same type of patterns that I see in that and go back into Pokemon and do it that way. And so since being home this weekend, that's kind of how I've been reworking Pokemon and coming up with a bunch of new ideas. And so then we finished our trip up, coming back up the state and took some tours in Hot Springs and absolutely love that place. I've been begging to go forever. And so we toured the antique bathhouses, and Jada turned 11. And so her birthday wish was to go on a ghost hunt. And so we went to Arlington and ghost hunted. And she had the best time there and got to see Al Capone's room. And she psyched herself out and decided that she had seen a ghost through a window. And so we had a pretty great Thanksgiving, boots on the ground one time for Jaws, and then randomly found other clues along the way.
well, very good. It's really interesting that you say that you're going to rework your saw, because of all the people that I know on Discord that talk about this, like I've seen you have so many different ideas that you've run through. Like, how is that, like different saws, different areas, you're constantly looking at different places. Like, what's changed in your philosophy that's different from how you've been approaching it in the past? Because I know you've got a lot of different solves and ideas. And where are we going now? Is this a whole nother era of Megan solves that we're going to have? I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, I think so. All of my other solves have been so research driven, like things you wouldn't know unless you went deep, or you studied maps, or you studied the area, or you lived here and you just knew about it. And so I keep like re-asking myself, what does the text say? Can I get this clue from the text. I want to keep it simple because like working the LS, like I think it's pretty easy and it's just written right there in the chapter and in the numbers. And so I don't want to go anywhere outside of the chapter while I'm redirecting myself for a new thought.
Okay, very, very interesting. This is from the person that sent me an Indiana solve months ago that was the most complex solve I've ever seen ever, and like accompanied with like 18 pictures, and it was quite extensive. So interesting that you're pivoting and to what is in the text now. I think that's good, to be honest with you, but that if we get on the same page here, that's just going to make this the most boring podcast ever. So and not that it's not already, but anyway. No, that's good. The other thing you touched on, we were talking about this before we started recording, was the frustration. Like you basically said almost exactly what I said about, you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, like, do I want to go trudging around again in the cold or the rain or I don't know what this thing looks like, and I don't know, exactly what I'm looking for, and I've looked all over the place, and I'm totally frustrated. How's that impacting you? This is going to be the big downer podcast, I guess, but obviously as treasure hunters, we've been all pretty committed to our areas and going out there and doing it. But at what point do we go, I don't know anymore. Are we there? How are we feeling about it?
It lasted during one sleep.
Okay.
Then I saw that luggage and I was like, it's so addictive.
Yeah.
And Jaws, go ahead, Jaws, because you are the stalwart, man. You're hitting the same spot. I mean, we bounced around a little bit, but you're still plugging away at this spot for a while now. How do you deal with the frustration, or do you get frustrated?
So at the end of October, my mother-in-law bought me a trip to where I'm searching. She booked me a hotel, bought me restaurant gift cards, all that stuff, said, go find the treasure. And my father-in-law and I went up together to go search for the box. We spent 5 days there looking. Probably halfway through day 3, I was ready to just be done. I'm done with this treasure hunt. Like, I've been to the same place, like you said, probably close to 30 times now at this point. And so we were both at the point where we're ready to just call it quits. And that was the trip that right at the end of it, we believe we found the rock wall that's in the picture. And so it's like, just when you think you're about to lose hope, like Megan said, she found the luggage in that place. We found what we thought was the rock wall, or what we still think is the rock wall. And so it gets frustrating, and you have to, like John said, you have to have patience and you have to keep plugging away. That's what it's going to take to find this box. And so when do I call it quits? I don't know the answer to that. I'm definitely going to be there this weekend, so it's not quite quit yet. But I will say one funny thing that came out of this is Megan just pointed out how she thought she was going to be like the wife that swoops in and finds what the husband can find. Well, I got the opposite side of the wife. I got another to-do list because she found a different place in the same area where I believe it is, that she thinks it is now. So now I have 2 places I have to go search up there.
Oh no! So that's gonna double your trips, and yeah. So, oh wow, what are you doing to him, Megan? Like I think she might be just diverting you. Like, she doesn't want you to look at the places she's looking at. She's like, hey, Jaws, you need to go over here and check this out. So she's keeping you from her search areas and all that, right? So no, it's good that you guys sharing your ideas, but. Yeah, I wonder how many more trips. Do I need to send you some restaurant gift cards? Is that what I can get you for Christmas? So maybe that would be a good gift for you. So no, I get it. I'm definitely in that kind of frustrated boat as well. My boots on the ground. I'm actually just wrapping up a boots on the ground trip. If you've noticed, this is not my house where we do this from, but this is a really crappy Holiday Inn. I shouldn't say that. A really crappy hotel, a really great Holiday Inn here in Birmingham Airport. So down in Alabama.
It's a 5-star. Come on, Holiday Inn, sponsor us.
5 stars. Yeah. Anyway, and we don't have enough people yet that I'm worried about the Holiday Inn coming after us. But it's near the airport. It's convenient. That's perfect. I have an early flight tomorrow morning. But down in Alabama again, did a couple days down here. One day before Thanksgiving, went to Tennessee for Thanksgiving. Came back here a couple days ago. But oh my gosh, like my whole motivation for wanting to find this thing is just, it's tough now. Especially the weather, it's kind of rainy, it's not that great. But I met a lady here who works. She's on the board of directors at Crare Preserve, which is my Pokemon solve. I've shared. And she literally lives. Her backyard is basically Crare, and so we met up and we were talking, and she's totally dove into the book. Lindsay, Scarab Beetle 82, I think is her Discord name, came out and helped me search. We ended up like talking more about the solve than actually looking for the box. But yeah, still very frustrating to go out there and look. And last night I was like, I think the question that we don't always ask ourselves is, am I wrong? Is there something here I can look at that in a different light? Is there another angle I can take on this? And I tried last night to like really just talk myself out of where I'm at, because I'm just frustrated, and I couldn't do it. And so I get a message from Lindsay about early in the morning. She's like, "Hey, I'm out here and I'm looking," and I'm like laying in bed going, all right, I guess I should probably get up and go out there. And a couple hours later, I did after I convinced myself. But yeah, still looking in the same place. It was great. Lindsay, she was fantastic. She brought her girls out on 2 separate days, Mira and Adriana, and Cutest Button. Did a video with Mira that's on the Instagram page right now. But she also got me some treasure so I wouldn't go home empty-handed. I got this Auburn University Christmas ornament that I can remember my time here in Alabama. So yeah, we're still looking here. Don't know when the next trip down here will be, but Lindsay's on board and she knows my exact solve and where I'm looking, so she's going to try to find it, and hopefully she'll cut me in on it when she does find it, if it's here. So that's one of the boots on the ground trips that I've done. I really wish you could just do. Here's what I wish. Like, John, listen to what I have to tell you. So if we can just write up our solve, go through the clues, and say, here's where we think it is, and send it to you, and you go, yes, you're correct. Here's the box. Can we please do that? I'm asking. I'm begging, actually. I'm tired of flying to Alabama. It's nice. It's warmer than Colorado this time of year, but the whole looking for things, the solving things is fun. Finding things is not fun. So just a little helpful hint from your buddy Bruce, who spams you on Instagram. Yeah, I wonder. The question I would ask John, if we ever get an opportunity to do an interview with John, would be, are there clues in the book to talk about how he hid the box or how he camouflaged it, like something about the techniques he used or something? That's not something I've really looked for, but something you said, Megan, about the Jayco camper and then the hard-sided like Samsonite luggage, I think that's one of them, hard-sided, but like thinking about like a Pelican case or things like that. I wonder if that's like a nod to something like that, or if there's other ways that he's hid the methods he's used. Any thoughts on that? Have you guys had this idea that he could be telling us in the text somewhere how he hid these, what his strategies were?
Yes. So my new approach, my new thinking, there was a time in one of the interviews where I think it was with Emma and Jan, they said something about looking on a trail, and he kind of like said, you're looking on a trail. I think it was when they were questioning him about how far off the trail and going around the Ozarks. It was somewhere in that interview, and he kind of offhanded, like he wasn't thinking about it when he spoke. He said, "You guys are on a trail," and questioned it, and then he just moved on, and they didn't give it a chance to say anything. And so it got me thinking about, like, in town, in city, if these salts aren't out in the middle of nowhere, we're not using rocks or caves, to hide stuff. And then, like, being downtown in Hot Springs and thinking about, this is a big city with people. I'm not from a big city. I haven't been, well, not that Hot Springs is a big city, but there were people everywhere. And I had seen on Discord where everyone was dismissing, urban areas because there were people everywhere. There were landscapers. And until I visualized that myself, I still thought it was a possibility. And so my new stall is in a town. It's not on a hiking trail. And so I've spent a lot of this week trying to figure out, how would you hide it? I'm looking on the Google Maps and images, and I'm like, I don't know any way plausible to hide a box in a town. I only know how to hide a box on a trail. And so if they aren't on trails, then I'm just completely, my mind is I have nothing. I've got nothing.
Oh, got it. Okay. Jaws, any thoughts on this?
I mean, I've always been in the Pelican case line of thought, something similar. I mean, he's clearly said it's in something that will protect it from nature and from the elements. So we're not looking for the Pokemon box. We're looking for whatever it is that's protecting it from the elements. Now, could that be clear? It could be. We might actually be looking for the box in something clear, and you can see it. But I think that would make the hunt a little too easy if he did that, so I highly doubt it.
Okay. Interesting. So, Megan, let me know if I heard this correctly. What I heard you not say is you're not in BNR anymore.
Not in BNR anymore.
You're not in BNR?
No.
Oh, interesting. That's a hot take right there. Megan is no longer in BNR. So there you go. Anyway. To your point, Jaws, I do agree with you about the some kind of Pelican case kind of thing. So a couple people have brought up to me that it might be like in a mirrored box that's just reflecting the environment around it. So might be easier to hide in plain sight, basically. I think some of the images in the book are mirror images. I think I'd have to look more closely at this, but I think some people have brought that up. So what I did this time, I was like, all right, I bought a laser pointer at the local Walmart in Auburn, and that's how I was searching. I was like using the laser pointer to hopefully maybe something would bounce off and blind me or something, and then I would have money to complete eye surgery with the Pokemon box, I guess. But again, that's the frustrating part. It's you don't know what you don't know, and it's tough, but a lot of strategy. Curious what other people are saying or what they think it might be, but yeah, definitely a challenge. So, one other thing that about my solve that I have here that Lindsay pointed out to me, I didn't realize. In the book, I don't know if it's in the book or if it was in an interview where he talks about the boxes are obviously on public property. But there might be a situation where you need to go into an easement to get to the box, right? And I just disregarded it. I was like, I don't know what that means or what that looks like. Well, at Crare, there's a big open wide. It divides the preserve in half, and it's because the power lines are there, and it's that's where the forest opened up, FYI. But but I learned from Lindsay here in Crare that it's owned by the power company. That area is owned by the power company, so it is a public easement. And I was like, oh, okay. So that was my one bit of like extra information, like kind of like you're talking about, Josh, like something to be like, oh, okay, that makes me feel better about where I'm at. It doesn't help me find the box, but it helps me figure out that I'm at least feel like I'm in the right spot still. So I just thought that was interesting. I couldn't think of any other situations where there would be a public easement. So anyway, I've said the word That's the most I've ever used the word easement in my life, and that's probably all last that I
You can
do.
use the
Any other
word
thoughts?
you
Oh,
can
what's
use the
that?
word local there. The in one of my stalls for BNR, there's a strip of land where the forest opens up, and it's the power lines, and they're also the locals. So the local power company, they have their union, and so they have local numbers. And so in that solve, that those are my locals turning up the easement.
Oh, you turn up the power, turn up the electricity.
Yeah.
Also, sounds like the forest opened up too. Is that kind of an open space? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. And yours was probably an easement as well. That's number 10th time using easement today. So, so yeah, for those of you who are out there and that's what you're looking for, you know, if you're looking for an easement, there you go. That's your helpful hint of the day. Any other stuff from your boots on the ground this last couple weeks that you wanted to share before I dove into my bigger boots on the ground one?
Go for it.
Okay. So we did our episode and we talked about our solves for the 5 boxes and where we thought everything was, and that went out. And I got some feedback from people about my South Dakota solve, and I was like, okay, I don't know if that's true or not. So I bounced it off Megan and Jaws. I'm like, what do you guys think about this? And got some confirmation that that could fit South Dakota and some other. Then we started kind of getting into it, and we're like, oh, this could be South Dakota and this could be South Dakota. Well, next thing you know, I'm in a car driving to South Dakota. So I had to go out there. I've always believed that the fact that the cover says a true and monumental treasure hunt has something to do with that. Geographically, I think that the lion's share is going to be somewhere near the geographical center of the country. So I've always kind of been on that whole Mount Rushmore area anyway. But this was like, okay, this was enough actionable stuff to be like, all right, let's go out there and scope it out. And that's, for me, that's what I've learned that the first boots on the ground trip is. It's more like recon. You're out there and you're kind of seeing what's out there. Before, it used to be the first trip was go get the box, which we all know is complete fallacy these days. We've all been burned by that one. So I had no expectations of finding a box, but I had enough actionable stuff to be like, I want to go check it out and see what fits and what doesn't, and if this is viable. So I definitely would think that I think that there's a lot to it. I don't really want to get too much into it, to be honest with you, but there's a lot that's very appealing about the South Dakota area. So I've posted a couple videos of Mount Rushmore, but again, I think we're just what we found in the book. I think we're just kind of scratching the surface of it. I think there's a good tide, like Joy Serenade, I think is a good like maybe roadmap-ish thing to help you navigate that. But again, there's a lot of things we're kind of keeping close to the chest right now because we're just getting started on that one. But yeah, definitely think there could be something to South Dakota. So anyway, along those lines a little bit, let me kind of transition into this other thing that I found interesting. Was I was listening to TTI Unofficial today, their new episode, and they do a bit or a segment called What's More Likely, and Bryn brought up John's name, because I think everybody in the community knows that John Collins Black is not his real name. You know, John Comer. He was John Collins, like the John Collins Band, I think was what he went by. But suddenly we have this hyphen Black added to the Collins, right? They were debating, is there something to that? I think there might be. Have you guys thought about the fact that John's name it's John Collins Black, and is there any significance to the hunt or things that we might need to key on with his name?
I had looked at the hyphens as well, but never thought about it for his last name. I guess I never considered where his last name came from. And when I did it, I was playing around with the Playfair cipher. Yeah. So I had worked with it, like you take the I didn't know how to use it, but what I was doing was taking the first letter and the first letter of the second word, or do I take the two letters that touch the hyphen? And so I had played around with it like that, but after Bryn had mentioned it today, I started pulling out all of the hyphens from the book, and I started with the Pokemon chapter, and I only took the last name because that's how Bryn had talked about it, the last word, and it was super cool because then I had ChatGPT anagram it, and it came up to it's all a trip story game cased up. So it's all a trip story game cased up. So I was like, that really does fit Pokemon pretty good. You know, it's a game, it's all a story, and it's all cased up. And so I was like, wow, if it worked this well with Pokemon, I wonder how it's going to work for the whole book. And are we supposed to pull all of the hyphen words from the entire book to make one clue? Do we break it down by chapters? Does each small box have their own, and then the big box has its own in the whole first part? So I just started it today, and so I'm really excited to see where it goes from there. But then I got confused. Like, what do you guys think? In some of the chapters, there's 3 words that are hyphened together, or he hyphens out one whole word with just letters, and then there's one group of words. It's like 5, and so if you are using hyphens as a clue, like where do those come into play?
No, I think you're on to something there. That was really eye opening with the hyphen thing. I haven't looked as closely. I just today, and so that's definitely something I want to notice. But I did notice that a lot of metaphors he uses and a lot of in the book, and usually they're set off by a hyphen if he's talking if it adds a metaphor, like the whole. Like the most obvious one that I remember is a cowboy riding a lightning bolt in the introduction, right? That was like, wait, okay, that was set up. I think that one's set up by a hyphen. So I think there's something there. I think there's something with the hyphens to do that. Jazzy, you're nodding your head. Are you on this train? Is this are you buying this one?
I think there's definitely something to the hyphens. Have I solved it yet? No. I will say in the Pokemon chapter, looking at just the hyphenated words in there, I did play around. I'm not a cipher person. I'm not a guru. That's not me. I'm not a genius with this stuff. But I played around with it using the hyphenated words. It did give me a response using a certain type of cipher that spelled out a word using certain parts of the hyphenated things. I'll tell you the word, but I won't tell you how it got to it. The word it spelled was secret. And so I think there is something to these hyphenated words to be solved. And maybe once you figure that out, maybe it'll tell you, maybe I found the word secret for secret location or something like that. I don't know. That's as far as I got with it. And that's it.
Okay. No, I think there's definitely something there with the hyphen. Like, why wouldn't he just go John Collins? First I thought, maybe John Collins Black sounds just more smart, more like an author, right? I don't know. So, but that definitely had some meaning to it. But the more I thought about it, when I started thinking about the South Dakota solve, and with Mount Rushmore being in the Black Hills. In South Dakota, I thought, well, maybe that's a nod towards the Black Hills as well. So something to chew on. You can't discount anything about John or the book or his name or anything as far as that goes, as far as clues go. So who knows? That's definitely something that we'll have to drill down into and see what we can come up with, and maybe on a future episode we call it the hyphen episode, and we dissect all the hyphen clues in there. All right. Do you guys want to do a clue or not a clue today? Megan, you got something for us?
Sure.
All right.
I think that it's pretty famous term, like your all of yours that you're coining and charging for, all of your terms, but the butter crotch or the crotch in Greninja. So it's bothered me. It looks too distinguished, and today I think that I figured out what it is, and so I've been studying Greninja a lot and not putting too much focus on froakie. And I decided, well, if back to the term where he shook hands with Greninja, so Greninja's hands are pretty important, but he bowed to froakie. So if Greninja's hands in the picture are important, which part of froakie's body would be important? So bowing, is it his knees? Like when he bowed, did he bend his knees? So do we need to focus our attention on froakie's knees? Or when you bow, are you bending over and your butt's going up? Because we know that froakie's butt has extra piece, the tail that doesn't belong on a frog. And I've extensively tried to find that tail shape and everything, but I was looking at it as like a tail or a trail map, making the apostrophe and then the little island. But if he bent over, then the tail would come upwards. And so it kind of forms a shape like this. And so if Greninja is a map telling us where to go, maybe froakie's the more specific part and it's telling us what to look under. And so is it forming a rock? Is it forming a cave? Because I can't make it be anything else. I'm just pulling, at hairs, trying to figure out which part of froakie is important. Where do I need to focus my attention? If I can't figure out his butt, do I need to move on to his knee? Is that something? And so, clue or not a clue? Is froakie's knee a clue?
All right. So this podcast is rated MA for mature audiences only. We've gone from Greninja's crotch to froakie's butt today. So we know we see where your head's at. I should pre-screen these before we start, I think. I don't know. Jaws, thoughts on the butt and crotch theory?
Questions I never thought I would be asked on this podcast. So I think me and Megan are kind of on the same page, I think, on Greninja and froakie. I think that they are each a conglomeration of different things in the area. I can point to different parts of them and say that this is this place and here, this is this place here.
But are you pointing at the crotch and the butt? That's what America wants to know.
What is his butt?
I have not pointed at the crotch butter, but Megan has discussed it with me.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought. Go ahead.
How are you? I mean, how are you using froakie? Why is he in there? How is he important? If not just and if people are using his tail as a location, then what are you doing with Greninja? Because they're there as equal parts, and so we need to be using them both equally. And it has me stumped. They're not just extra information on pages taking up space. We've got to use them somehow. And Greninja obviously is more detailed aside from the tail on froakie. So I feel like I just haven't been giving him enough attention. I don't know how to use it. And if we're using my new theory, if I have my whole new line of thinking and I can only use what's in the book, I need to be using exactly what I have in front of me. And so that's where I focus my attention this week.
Got it. Okay. So I think we've talked about this before. To me, the froakie tail is indicative of, froakie and Pokemon doesn't have a tail. So I think this is like saying that this is froakie's just a youngster and hasn't lost its tadpole tail yet. So it's little, and that's where I get the bow to froakie, like it's small, like a child, like you wouldn't, reach down, maybe pat him on the head, things like that. So that's kind of where I land. I don't have a theory on Greninja's crotch. I'm terribly embarrassed that I don't. So how
do you use Greninja in your soul?
I don't. I agree with you. I think there's probably something I'm missing there that I should know. I don't know that it's critical. I feel like the tale for froakie is more of like a confirmation of what I already believe to be true in my solve and in the story. So I'm kind of, I guess I'm not looking at Greninja that closely right now because I feel pretty confident where my solve is. But I mean, it might help me narrow down where I'm searching. But I'm not really sure where to look on that. I've seen some other things about the spot on the ankle and things like that, but yeah, I have a hard time trying to really grasp what's important about that. So anyway, Jaws, I know I kind of interrupted you. I don't know if you had any other thoughts on that.
The only other thing I will throw out is he shook hands. I know we're talking about froakie's butt, but we also got on he shook hands with Greninja and Golem. I think there's something to that. Yes, we have pictures of Greninja's hands, so that could be what it is. Or it could also be if you can put Greninja and Golem on your map, does that mean he's somewhere close to them because he's close enough to touch them, but he's not touching froakie?
Interesting. Okay. Hadn't thought about it from that angle, but definitely haven't thought about it from Megan's angle at all, really. So that's, but that's why Megan's here, to give us the things that you're not thinking about that now you are, and you're not going to be able to forget. Oh, look at that.
I've been sleeping with him.
That's funny. Very good. Very good. I don't know how we're doing on time, Jaws. You're our unofficial timekeeper. Are we ready to wrap this thing up? He's very much like, yes. So, yep. All right. Any parting shots here? Jaws, you said you're going out this next weekend. Megan, when's your next trip?
I don't have a next trip planned.
Okay. Yeah, same here. We're kind of in the little bit of I think the winter lull here. South Dakota's not really up for it. My forest fence spot I can't get to. Tired of being in Alabama. No offense, Alabama. So probably not doing anything anytime soon. Probably just hitting the books. Really kind of focusing on the lion's share of solve, I think, is where I'm going to probably be leaning for the most part. But well, good. No, it should be interested to hear your experience, Jaws, if this new revelation is fruitful or not, and we'll look at that. So, yeah. Appreciate everybody that has been following us on YouTube. We have our Instagram channel. We also have TikTok. We got all kinds of stuff going on. We have if you have questions, make sure to send them to xmarksthepod@gmail.com. We're happy to entertain your thoughts. We're all pretty visible on Discord. Don't be afraid to DM us your questions. We appreciate all the feedback and all the solves, and definitely like the interaction there. So please hit us up there. And looks like that's gonna wrap it up this week. We'll see you guys next week probably. I'll see how Jaws did, and then wish you guys a great week and happy hunting. We'll see you next time.
Adventures calling, treasure awaits. Join us on a journey, let's open the gates. Welcome to the pod where the treasure is found. X marks the pod, let's gather around.